How you been?
Well, I took a little nap. Actually, I'm getting a little chill. I don't have my jacket on, so...
Go get your jacket.
Well,
Get
you know...
your boots on. Get your ass out here.
The thing is, though, you've been out here for like 4 hours, and it's not like there's 5 feet of snow. It's only like 4. It's only like 4. I asked you when we'd know when to concede. This is it. I gotta go back in and rework it. Oh, son of a... Ugh. I don't know if you noticed it, but I did. You know, I could have hidden all of this from you and looked like a hero, but the bottom line is this human thing kills you at times.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we can throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from miles. Nothing to lose. I feel it in my soul. So let's let the good times roll.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's little project on FergTV. Boy, am I glad you're here. We're getting ready for season 3, going out on the road. We've got, more projects to be done. Some things didn't have to be done. I wanted them to be done. Then there's the things that need to be done. We service the truck. I gotta do I'm gonna repack the bearings on the trailer yet, the wheel bearings. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make a cabinet that will go up in the back of the truck on the top bunk that we can then slide baskets into, and then that gives us another shelf to put more things in. So this is to stop things from just sliding forward a little bit. Certainly wouldn't stop things from coming forward if there was some kind of an emergency braking situation. But that's where our netting comes in. If you've ever seen our videos going down the road, you notice that there's a flag up there, and the flag is covering that netting. And that's essentially there if somebody wanted to, they had team drivers and there was somebody sleeping up in the upper bunk while you were going down the road. This way they'd be safe. So the problem that comes into this situation is this as a unit cannot go up there. If you notice, there's a joint in the middle. This cabinet is separated, but I wanted it to be structurally sound when it was up there and done and in its final resting place. So this is going to come off. You won't see these screws when we're done. I'll fully set them in and then put caps on them. And then the rear supports are full. They go from one end to the other. So they're going to come off. Then that splits this cabinet in two, and then each piece can go up. What I did was I cut the bottom in the beginning to the size that the cabinet would be, and I went out in the truck and I couldn't even get that bottom in. You just can't maneuver it. You would think, well, I can go up on edge and then turn it and flip it down. Well, you'd be wrong, as I was wrong. I tested it though. I didn't just say, oh, that'll work. I've learned over the years that's not how you do these things. I haven't been in with this since I've done this, but there's no way that I can't get these two individual cabinets in separate. I hope. So we're going to be leaving here August 6th. We don't spend the winters here in Rhode Island anymore, and for good reason. We used to be here for quite a few, we were here for quite a few years, and there's years when you would get a lot of snow, and Sue got tired of shoveling. I used to help her, but I'm going to show you a little clip from back in the day, right here. I wonder what the heck is taking my wife so long. She's been out here for hours. She should pick up the pace a little bit. I think I'll go give her a little pep talk. How's it going out here?
What?
Well, I'm kind of worried about you. You've been out here for about 4 hours. I actually thought you probably would have had more than this done. You didn't get anything off the roof yet?
Where the hell you been?
Well, I took a little nap. And actually, I'm getting a little chill. I don't have my jacket on, so...
Go get your jacket.
Well, you know,
Get your boots on. Get your ass out here.
the thing is, though, you've been out here for like 4 hours, and it's not like there's 5 feet of snow. It's only like 4. It's only like 4.
Men.
So, well,
Are
you
you
know,
not gonna help? Put the beer down.
I am
Get
going to
out
help.
here.
I am going to help. I am. Actually, I was thinking about it's getting dark, and I brought out this headlamp for you to use later when it gets
No,
dark.
thank you.
Well,
Get out here.
you know, if you need like a hot chocolate or something, give me a holler, because I'm right behind the door. It's cold out here, I'll tell you that right now. I don't think she's really that mad. She picks up the pace, she'll have that done today, I would think. Well, I told you, I like to help, and nobody knows that better than my wife. So let's take this apart and bring this out into the truck and set it in place. And I think I'm going to drill up through the bunk and put a couple of screws in to just keep this from sliding forward, unless I find a better way to do it. But that's what my thought is. All right, let's pull this apart. Everything is apart now, and everything's marked, left side, right sides. This hasn't been attached to the bottom yet. Whether I can or can't do that out there, I don't know. We're going to prove it. I think I can roll it back, put those screws in. We'll find out. If I can't, it doesn't really matter. I don't think this is going anywhere, but I don't know. I'm always overkill. There is nothing in the front that's holding any of this together, just the back support, so it would be kind of nice if I could do that, but we'll figure it out. And it doesn't go up tight to the sides, so I think it leaves me some breathing room, plenty of height. I think you can just roll this back. But we're going to go out there and prove all of this to be true or false. Meet you out there. Okay, how is this going up there? So when it's in place, that's where it's going to sit back there, up against the wall. But that's not what's happening now. We're going to have to pull it forward, put the supports on in the back. The last thing to go on is this, but I'm going to see if I can't tip it over and put these on. So you notice there's like shoes on the bottom, spacers, because I had to clear these bolts for the straps. All right, well, we'll go get the other one, and that's when the proof will be in the pudding, I guess you'll say. And this is pretty thick, like an inch or so, and you can't really see it. Let's see if I put my light on here, but there is like a honeycomb center to it, so I'm assuming that goes all the way across there, so drilling shouldn't be an issue. Well, with any project that's one step at a time. And sometimes when you're doing something for the first time, you gotta figure it out. We're not in yet. So we don't know if we're gonna win this contest or not. Boy, it is hot in here. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, boy. Well, that's an issue. Did I make it too tight? Man, it's close. I think we gotta take those window units off. It's just that close. I thought I left more room than this. We're gonna need some more clearance. We haven't lost yet. But, and this is a big butt. It's a Bertha butt. You remember Bertha? One of the butt sisters. Let's take these off. I think they're kind of hanging me up a little bit. Are you having fun yet? Okay. I mean, we're that close. And then, I think the problem is this. I took my measurement down below, and then this rocks out up the top. So we're gonna have to push that in. Well, I'm still laughing. Not crying yet. Oh, man. I should have checked it up the top here. Whew. I think if I can get it between, I can see there's a big space down the bottom. But if that top piece doesn't push in enough, I can't get past it. I may have to take and cut this back. It won't be the end of the world as we know it, but we're not there yet, though. Don't get too happy. Yeah. Yep. I can't say it enough. It's too tight. At what point do you concede? I just don't think it's going to happen. And it's all because I misread the room. Show you what I'm talking about. I took my measurement down there, and I see the room I got, and I said, we'll be fine. Problem is that tips in, and I missed that. So, I mean, that's a lot. I don't think I can get that to push in, or it would be pushing in already. And if I do get it to push in, I'm not sliding this out to put my support in the back. Do I need the supports in the back? Well, yeah, I do. So here's what I'm thinking. We take like 3/4 of an inch off of here, one side. And then we'll have to put a new hole in here, cut this back. Maybe we'll go an inch, get to that hole, cut that hole out of there, because I don't have enough room. And then everything has to be done on that side of my supports, the right-hand side. I asked you when we'd know when to concede. This is it. I got to go back in and rework it. I simply missed it. Okay, can you see the sweat coming down my forehead? It's like, holy mackerel. I think it's 122 degrees in here. All right, let's go back in the shop. It was cooler in there, but the door's open now. I brought the cabinet back in to the shop that I got to deal with. I made a decision that I'm just going to cut off one side. How are we going to perform that miracle? Well, that's the next question. You can see these are all screwed together from the top. I'm not so sure I put glue on there. I think I left it. And then we'll unscrew it from the bottom and do the same. So let's see. So I turned it over to see if there was any staples in the way, because we're going to go in about 1.25 inches. Oh, son of a... Ugh. I don't know if you noticed it, but I did. So this is all glued on, and I just hit it with staples. You see where the screws are down the bottom? Boom, boom, boom. There's 4 of them. Oh, God. So I don't want to go prying this whole thing off, because that's going to make a mess. It's because I glued it good and stapled it. So what we're going to do, because of that, we'll leave the top screwed together. I'm talking a little slow because I'm thinking as we go. And we'll cut the bottom first. And then I'll take the screws out of the top and cut that piece. And then at that point, these will both be cut. But I think before I cut the top piece, I'll have to take this off of here, which I can do that, I think, without too much of a problem. And if things break apart, it won't matter. Well, this is cut, but still on here. That way it's separated from there. And if that will be a success, well, I can take those screws out, and then I'll take this piece and put it back in here as a support, right? As a support, it'll just sit in between, and I'll cut that. The reason that I need it as a support is because we'll cut it on the sled. You know, I could have hidden all of this from you and looked like a hero, but the bottom line is this human thing kills you at times. You make mistakes, and I made a mistake. I didn't anticipate that the top was kicked in on both sides, and that really was my shortest point. And I measured at the bottom because I was just in there looking at the bottom, and I didn't pay attention. There you go. And I paid the price. I think I can get out. I know I can get out of this. So then we'll cut off 1.25 inches off of each one of these ends, and we'll be in pretty good shape. The reason it's going to be 1 inch and 5/16 rather, 1 5/16. I'll bypass that hole, and that way there it won't be in there at all. And I'll be before these. I can reuse them, drill a new one there, and then drill one new one here, and we'll be back in business. Mistakes. That reminds me of a story. So many years ago, I had a showroom, and I was selling custom cabinets. Customer came in, I talked to him, wanted to know about how I build cabinets, and his particular question, though, focused on how I do the finish. So I explained each step of doing the finish, and he said, okay, they didn't give me my job at that point, or their job at that point. They came back in another day, he asked me a few questions, and he went right back for the finishing question again. So I answered the finishing question again in detail. Still didn't give me the job at that point. He come back in a third time, and he started talking to me, and he asked about the finish. But before I went into my answer, he said, "Did you notice that I asked you on several occasions about how you do the finish?" And I said, "I did, but it didn't bother me because I do the finish. I know how I do the finish, and I don't have any problem answering your questions, sir." And he said, "There's a reason that I did." And I said, "Well, what's that?" He said, "Because if somebody is telling a lie, their story will change. And you were the same each and every time you answered the question." And I said, "Well, because I do the finishing and I know how I do it, and I don't have any problem giving you that answer as many times as you want to hear it. I mean, custom cabinets are not cheap, right?" And he said, "Well, we're going to give you the job because of that. And also because I noticed something with your pencil." And I took my pencil. I always carried a pencil in my hat all the time. So he said, "Because your pencil is short and the eraser's never been used, which means you don't make a lot of mistakes." And I took the pencil out and looked at it and I said, "Oh, well, you know why? So I take a brand new long pencil. I have trouble keeping them in my hat. So I cut them in half and resharpened them. And I just did that pencil, so the eraser hasn't been used." So I got the job. Okay, the way we're going to perform this miracle is using the sled. I've got my mark. I've set up my piece to be cut at the right place, and then I set up a stop over here. That way I can turn this around and it'll go exactly in the same location again. Okay, step one is done and it went well. It's cut this and I didn't hit any screws or staples, which we looked and we shouldn't have. So now what I'm going to do is turn this over and try to relieve that piece and then take the screws out. All right, now with this cut, so it's independent from here, we're going to try to get this piece off of this, and there's glue and staples holding it, but there's only about 4 staples, and maybe it wasn't glued all that well at the end, you know. So my battery was getting low in the GoPro, so I said, well, I got to go down and get a tool. I'm going to change the battery at the same time. I couldn't get the battery out. I don't know if you ever run across that, if anybody's got a GoPro or two, and you had any kind of battery issues. It's like it expanded and it's stuck in there, and I've never had that problem before. And the battery wasn't real hot. I've had it where it got real hot, shut the camera down, and I could still get it out. So I don't know. I see a screw. So just when you think there's no God, something like that happens. Broke off at my staple. I could care less how clean this is. I just got to expose each screw, and there should be 4 of them. I think we're going to survive this train wreck. You know what makes you good at being a cabinet maker? It's not making mistakes. It's how good you are at getting out of your mistakes. How far do I have to go back before I can go forward? That human thing, it's killing me. I see 4. So, just when you thought you'd never see the light of day again, we got our 4 screws exposed. Now you can see why I cut that first, because this would have been a total disaster if you tried to do something stupid. So now we can take those screws out and the other screws, and I don't think I glued that, to be honest with you. I really don't think I did. See? Life is good. Okay. So now I'm going to show you why having the stop was so important. Stop setup over here. All right, so then this is going to be used to just support this. I'll get it all in place. It's not where it needs to go. And then we'll be able to just cut this off. Because we're up against the stop on that side, this will be equal to this cut right here. Whoa. You almost went for a ride. That would have been on me. Hang on. Now, if we were to take this piece and grab one of the pieces over here in the garbage, they should be equal if everything's correct. Yep. Right on the money. Okay. So you can see how important it was to set up a stop. I didn't have to go and try to remeasure and hit the mark right on the money. It is tomorrow. I don't know where we left off yesterday. It was brutal. It was the humidity. I mean, it was only about 92 degrees, but the humidity was way up there. Anyway, we're back after it today. I had assembled everything. I was having a little trouble with the GoPros yesterday, so I didn't shoot anymore. So here's where we're at this point. I've reassembled it, took it all back apart, and I thought the best thing to do, the most prudent thing to do would be pre-drill for 4 screws and this before we get up in the truck, as long as we've got everything down here. So we're going to have to go with a 3/4 inch screw, but because we're going with a 3/4 inch screw, we need to go a little deeper into this 1/2 inch plywood. A 1 inch screw is just like it's right there and it's going to pop through the top of this, so we're not going to do that. So the way that we're going to accomplish this, I've done a little test here. I've set up a stop collar on my drill, and we will not drill into the place that the screws are going into. We will only pre-drill this so that the screw will just fit in there properly, and then when I get it up there, then I'll put the screws in. That's it. You're up to speed. I'm going to drill this now. So there's the beauty of the stop collar. It'll let this go only that deep, and that way there we know we won't have an issue. And here's that moment of truth. Hey, it's gonna work. So now that it's in, I would say the smartest approach here would be to put the front support on and then pull the whole unit forward and put the rear on. Once that's all together, I think we'll tip it backwards that way and put the bottom screws in. So that's the plan. Well, the new latest development is I don't know if this is going to make it in one piece. So I'm going to try something here. If I can get down on the side over here, maybe. Let's see. Boy, this is quite the challenge. Quite the challenge. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Maybe we can get this up past here. This is crazy. Oh, just when you think there's no God, something like that happens. I tell you, it's challenging. When you're going to do a project, you have to try to think of everything in the project. And this wasn't a real complicated project. Simple cabinetry. Problem was the location was the issue. So tight. So tight. There's not a lot of room to maneuver. And you need to take all of that into consideration, and if you miss one detail, you're going to pay the price. And I did. I did miss a detail. I need to be able to come out as far as I can here. Now that is what it was supposed to do yesterday. That was the plan. Now, if I have enough room to get my gun in here, that will be great. So this is where all the pre-assembly, pre-drilling, pre-everything is going to pay dividends. Oh yeah, gun's going to fit. This plan may work after all, huh? Alright, that went well. As good as I could have expected. Now, we're going to get this to the point where it's even and then turn it. We couldn't have done this yesterday, huh? It's a little bit too tight. So, wow, as planned, eh? Let's get these in. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's excellent. So, you know, all this planning pays dividends when you plan right. And then this will be held together. I won't have to worry about this. I won't have to worry about anything. What we need to come up with next is the final step, which is to drill holes through here and go into this somewhere. And that's what I need to figure out. Now, I don't know if I could put just maybe 2 screws right in the center, and that way I could come through and go into the plywood, the uprights. So that's a lot of meat, and I could put a good size screw in there. Or do I come through here and just go into here, which is 1 inch, which we know we can't go in a full inch. We'll be poking through on the other side. So let's get this tipped back over, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do. Somewhere along the line, I'll be able to see in the back, put a mark, drill down through, because I got to also look underneath and make sure we're not drilling into something. We're at the point where we're going to drill a hole through the upper bunk, and I kind of wanted to know what size this is. So I'm going to show you something about a wooden ruler, because a lot of people say, I'd never use a wooden ruler. But there are some uses for it where this extends, right? Where you can get down inside of a track, or in this case, I'm going to go below here. I'm going to push it down past. And then at the bottom, underneath, I'm pushing it up even. So now I have a thickness, which is 3/4. So now I know what I'm working with. I can pick my screws. So we could put this one back at 10. Alright, and then this one I can put out. I wish this ruler would stay, but it doesn't. We put this one at about 16, and in that respect they'll kind of work against each other, or work with each other. I don't know, not that one. I do like that. And that looks like it's about dead center on this thing. So if I drill that one down through, and then we can move the box back, and I can be pretty certain where I'm drilling. That looks good. I wonder if I can get some kind of a measurement. To the center of that is just about 40 inches. So, but I'm also pushing on that. Yeah, you know, we're looking pretty good. I think we're gonna go with that. Columbus took a chance, eh? Let's do it. The worst I can be is wrong. And we'll know when we come up through and it comes inside the cabinet. Alright, now, while we're here, let's see if that screw fits. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I decided to do, I've got these 2¼ inch self-tapping screws, and the 2¼ inches to the threads, not to the drill point. And I've got a drill that's smaller than that, so I can do a pilot hole here. I just want to make sure I go up straight. And that way there, it will self-tap or drill its way in, but we won't be working with all of that material up there. Let's see how lucky we are. So if anything, I'm going to tilt it a little bit that way to the driver's side. All right, we need to go take a look. I'll go take a look and report back. And hopefully I didn't come through anywhere. Nope, we did good. Okay, so before we go any further, we'll put this one up. So as I told you before, don't force things. Let it get acclimated to it. Go up easy. Let it accept it. That way we don't split anything. We're only going in a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and we're going in on the edge. I do like the sounds of that. All right, so we'll do the same thing with this one, except we'll cheat it a little bit towards the passenger side. That way, if anything happens and I'm not right in the center of this thing, it'll come out to the inside of the two pieces. The reason I'm not 100% confident that I'm in dead center on this, and I've done a lot of cabinetry over the years, and you take your measurements and you just drill. Because this cabinet up there can move a little bit either way. And that could make the difference of being in or not in. Beautiful. Let's go up and take a look. Oh. Okay, there's that side. And there's that side. We don't see any screws coming through. Oh man, that is not going anywhere. That's beautiful. I did forget to show you one thing yesterday. This is the following day. I was telling you about the little caps that are going to go on the screws. So this is the little decorative caps. And now you can't see the screw heads. Just a little finish cap getting the light here. You can see. They just tap in with a hammer. And they have little grips on them. Now, should they come off, which they do from time to time, and if you can't get it to stay back in there, you simply take like a little Phenol, put a little dab on it, push it back in, let it set up. Well, this is a look at it. We threw some stuff in. I mean, we're going to be more organized than this. We just want to see how things are going to fit. It's going to work out great for us. We're going to have that upper shelf area. Sue's going to make something to keep that mat together. Our bedding. This will probably stand up over here with other things against it. We'll get organized. It'll be well worth the time that went into this. And the sweat. You saw the sweat. Well, that's going to take us to the end of this little project. And as always, I'm glad you were here. But I don't think you realize how important you are. If you're not there, then I'm just here talking into a camera in my hand. And that'd be kind of odd, right? Thanks for stopping by. You know, subscribe if you would. I'd really appreciate it. Hit ye old like button, and I'll see you on the next one.